welcome to everybody. And we come to this yoga practice on this Thursday night, Friday Eve. And let's take an exhale, right? So we inhale, and as we exhale, maybe just do a little bit of a sigh. Inhale. Inhale again. All right, so we just start with that exhaling and releasing. So I'll just set sort of the intention and the tone of tonight's class or practice, right? And see how it goes. We'll be working on our core, front and back, and doing some movement all around, just kind of like an all-around class. I wanted to say a little bit about self-improvement, right? And today I had a class with my students, and we were talking about comparison and how often the algorithms in social media are set for that sense of comparison, and really comparison is judgment. It's this is better than that kind of judgment. And I had one student respond and saying, well, but I think judgment is not that bad, and I live my life. Yeah.
I think a couple of us are having a hard time hearing you.
Then
I had a problem hearing you.
Okay.
Yeah, it suddenly went funky.
Funky. I got it.
Like an ocean wave.
Okay. Let me fix that then.
It's like a crickets and ocean waves, but your voice was kind of disappearing in the background.
Got it.
Carlos was taken over by nature.
Okay.
Yeah, perfect.
All right, good. So as we were talking about this notion of comparison in the class, she was saying how she lives her life based on self-improvement, and that she's constantly on this improving of herself. And it was a preliminary conversation. I really don't know this student at all. I mean, we've met maybe twice via Zoom, but it was interesting, right? Because it was almost like every aspect of her life, it was being measured. That's how she was describing it. And I took that in, and I listened, and I've been thinking about that today, and how oftentimes in a culture like our own, where there is so much comparison going on, and there is so much measurement and quantification, that we move into this mode of self-improvement for everything. And I think that there's an element where we want to improve skills, and we could improve our skills and gain knowledge. But really, the notion of self-improvement is almost like antithetical to being a human being. From the core, there's nothing to improve in us as a human being. Maybe we could change behavior, but the self is not improvable. And yet we seem to want to do that sometimes. We also do that in all sorts of ways, and especially with the body. And one of the things that I come back to with yoga is often that we often approach yoga as a physical activity meant to get the body to be a certain way. And yoga really is not that. Yoga is about experiencing the body and sensing it. And as we move, we purify. If we purify something, we purify our ability to sense. And in there, just be. So as we practice tonight, I guess I want to plant that little seed of maybe a little bit of doubt on self-improvement, or a little question mark as to how much we embrace that, because it seems like we get on this hamster wheel of constant trying to get better, and often leading us into that sense of dissatisfaction and an inability to enjoy the moment just as it is, as messy as it is, as beautifully imperfect as it is, and as we are, just as we are. And so wherever you are tonight in terms of how you feel about yourself and how you feel about your circumstances in your life, we could maybe for this hour say, you know what, it's all right now. I'm good right now. And that's a mental state of just, embracing and enjoying whatever is right now in this moment on our mats as we are. So that's the little bit I wanted to say. And with that, we could start sort of settling into the body, coming back to the body. If for most of us, today I taught 3 classes and I did a lot of stuff on the computer, and I felt very spent after 5 hours of talking to people nonstop, and I think I was in my head a lot. So I had to take a long walk today. And today's practice for me is how do I come back to this body just as it is, right? And I invite you to do the same. Come home. All right. So let's start with noticing the breath. So just notice the breath. And as you notice the breath, allow the belly to go out on the inhale, in on the exhale. Do that for a little bit of time. As you inhale and exhale in that way, just allow the face to relax. So just maybe take a moment and just move your face around a little bit and allow the face to just kind of let go of any tension in the face, around the mouth, the eyes. And keep coming back to the breath, allowing the breath to lengthen a little bit and to slow down a little bit. Take your right hand and just place it on your belly and allow yourself to feel the belly going out on the inhale. In on the exhale. Out on the inhale. In on the exhale. Allowing the breath to slow, giving yourself permission to just be. No production, no making, no changing. As we practice tonight, anything that we do, make sure that it feels good and feels right for you. So that if any pose that we're trying doesn't feel right, meaning there's a bit of pain, step away from it right away. So be aware of the body and honor what the body is communicating with you. Take a moment to wish yourself well. Tell yourself right now, give yourself a moment to say, hey, you're really good. You're wonderful, actually. You're beautiful, magnificent, amazing, and awesome. Let's twist a little bit, and let's stretch first and twist. So we'll go inhaling, arms up on the reach, and stretch out the body. Look up, and as I am looking up, I am looking at the moon. It's so beautiful. It's a beautiful sky tonight. And open up chest, arms wide open. And go ahead and give yourself a hug. Right hand, right arm under left. Grab your shoulders and just hug yourself in, and take a moment and just move left and right a little bit. Gentle left, gentle right, stimulating the back. So becoming aware of the back of the body, keeping the back as long as possible, meaning lengthening the back, keeping the back straight so you're not rounding the back. Chest forward, elbows out. Finding your breath and adding a twist and feeling your shoulders as you hug yourself tightly. Go ahead and release and allow the hands to go by your side. And let's take shoulders up to the ears, back and down, up, back and down. When you go up, go forward, up, back and down. So it's a big, big circle with the shoulders. Invite relaxation into the body, ease into the body, wonder and spaciousness into the body. And then let's come back to center and reach arms up again and look up, stretch. See if you can bring the belly in, pelvis slightly forward. And you're tightening the front of the body and expanding and stretching the back. Good. Opening up your eyes. Opening up your arms now. Good. Wide, wide open. And now take thumbs down. Rotate those shoulders. And take thumbs up. And now take left arm under right and hug. Hug in, and you might notice that the hug is a little different, right? One being tighter than the other. And we begin to just move left and right and left and right, and follow your breath. And see if you could tighten your front of the body as you twist. So when you twist all the way out, squeeze out the air in the belly, bringing the belly in, come back, relax the belly, take an inhale. On the exhale, squeeze out the air, bring the belly in, come back. So it's a full twist. And it's a work on the front of the body, engaging and sensing and stretching and tensing and releasing. And we bring the hands to the side. Let's take shoulders up to the ears this time. Forward and down. Up, back, forward, down. Back, forward, up and down. Back, up and forward, down. One more, and again, releasing tension from the shoulders and the neck. Good. Hands to the knees. Let's take right hand to the left knee, left hand behind you, and turn to the left. Lengthen the back, keep it long, and sense the back. Come back to center. Take right hand to left hand to right knee, and turn to the right. And we come back to center. Let's do little circles with our head. So going around and releasing tension from the neck, making sure it feels good. You could do a couple of sighs as you do your circles. And then go in the opposite direction. Good. Coming back to center. Just move your shoulders around. And let's go ahead and come to hands and knees. So let's just move a little bit. So knees hip distance apart, toes pointing back, and we move back and forth, just adding movement to the body, stretching out, back and forth, adding energy into the body, sort of waking ourselves up even as we come to the end of the day, just stimulating a little bit so that we could unwind. As you move this way, begin to arch the back as you go forward. So inhaling forward, exhaling back. Forward, inhale, arch, look up, exhale, back, all the way as far down as you can. Inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, exhaling. Bringing knees closer together. Let's go ahead and do a number 8 or an infinity sign with the entire body. So you're tracing that 8 with your body and engaging all of the body. So it's neck, shoulders, back, hips. Making that number 8 infinity sign. Tracing it and finding the breath, finding pleasure in the movement. When you contract the body, exhale. When you open or expand the body, inhale. When you go forward on the inhale, when you come down on the exhale. And now we reverse it and trace it in the backward fashion. Make it your number 8, your infinity sign. So it's going to look a little different for everybody. Nice. We come to back to our starting point. Let's take that right foot forward. And as we take that right foot forward, place your right hand on that right knee and just lean forward and hold for a moment and feel the stretch on that left hip flexor. So the left leg, you're going to feel that stretch there, and just gently hold and lengthen the back, and we could look up, or actually we could twist a little bit and look back, keeping the back nice and straight and long, and just hold. Toes point back so the toes are not tucked. Good. Gently come back, place your hands on the ground, take your foot back, and let's take that left foot forward and place that left hand on that knee, lean forward, so there's a bit of a lean, and begin to sense that right hip flexor turning to the left now, looking up or back. Drawing awareness to the breath and to whatever sensations you're feeling in the body. Coming back and bringing that knee back. Let's take a seat in hero's pose for a moment, stretching out the quads and then again sensing. So when we draw the awareness to the sensation in the body, it's kind of like when you're in meditation and you draw the awareness to maybe the sound of a bell, or when you're looking at a candle and you're taking your awareness to the flame, right? So the sensations in the body become the focal point of our meditation, along with the breath, and drawing us back into the body, back to the spaciousness that's within us, rather than to just the running of the thinking mind, of the thoughts going a million miles per hour, right? So we come back to sensation and we smile. So the thoughts can continue. We don't stop the thoughts. We don't aim to stop the thoughts. We just draw the attention to sensation and say, coming home, coming home, coming home. Nice. All right, from here, let's go ahead and we're going to go on our belly. All right, so get yourself your arms as a pillow, right? And you could put your forehead on your arms as they hold you up. Notice your chest and your rib cage on the mat, your hips, your toes, your knees, your arms, your elbows. Notice the weight of the body on the mat, and just take a moment to stretch out. So even as you're holding yourself with the little pillow with your arms, sense the back of the body. Take some nice inhales and exhales, just relaxing into this sort of just resting pose and also stretching pose. From here, let's go ahead and bring your forehead to the mat if possible, and take your arms forward and stretch out. Bring your feet together, and let's go ahead and tent the fingers. Tenting the fingers, lifting the arms off the ground so they're completely off. Begin to scan the body again, so noticing the back of the body, especially now around the shoulders, and stretching as much as you can. Noticing the weight of the body on the rib cage holding you up and on your hips. Your forehead also making contact with the mat. Drawing your awareness to the space between the eyes. And with your eyes closed, now taking the awareness to the space behind the eyes, so that you could experience the spaciousness inside of the eyes. And breathe. Place your hands now flat on the mat and give yourself a little break, so you could bring your cheeks down, and let's bring the hands back in and just rest for a moment. And notice the relaxation in the chest, allowing the body to melt into the mat, to surrender to the mat. Keep coming back to noticing that breath. Now, taking the arms back, all the way back. So now, shoulders drape on the mat. Palms face up, and you're just draped on the mat, cheek on the side. It could be left cheek or right cheek, whichever one. Press the shoulders down and maybe round out the chest. So bring the chest in a little bit so that you could feel the connection with the back and the chest. So as you do that, you might sense a little bit of tension in the thoracic spine, in the upper back. Just draw the awareness and then release it. And then do it again. So contracting, bringing the chest in and hollowing it out, pressing the shoulders down to the mat, and then releasing. One more time, contracting, drawing the awareness, and then noticing how that affects also the lower back. And release. Good. Bring your chin back to the mat and take your arms back to the front. Let's go ahead and take right arm forward, and let's take left leg up, and now right arm up, and keep your gaze down towards the mat. And you could keep that left hand folded, the arm folded, so the hand is right under you, and just hold, point the toes back, reach with that right hand as if you're picking something up. Don't look to the hand, look to the ground. Keep your neck neutral. Become aware of the back of the body. So notice what's happening with your toes, left toes, the calves going up all the way to the hamstrings, to the glutes, to your butt, up the lower back. And then notice what's happening with your arm, and going from the fingertips of the middle finger all the way down to the toes, the pinky toes of the right foot. And then bring it down and relax. Go ahead and bring your right cheek to the mat. And relax and surrender, and just feel the goodness of letting go of tension. So notice how we could create tension and then how we release tension. And so both of those are important. It's the tension and the release. You can't have only one. Lifting now the right leg and pointing the right toes back. Take your left arm forward. Lift the chest off a little bit from the mat. Extend and reach and look towards the ground. And again, scanning now from the foot, the right foot going up, and holding and sensing and reaching. And then scanning from the fingertips all the way down to that left pinky toe. Continuing to breathe. As you do this, notice what's going on with the front of the body as well. So we have so much to explore in sensation. We could draw our awareness to all the parts of the body that are being sort of stretched, extended, contracted, released. Each of those sensations an invitation to draw awareness within, letting go of the thoughts. And then bring that hand in, and you could take your left cheek to the mat and relax. Find your breath. Allow the breath to lengthen. Let's bring the chin to the mat and extend both arms forward, and bring your feet together again if they're a little bit apart. Lift both feet off the mat. Lift your knees if you can off the mat. So lifting and noticing now the lower back engaging. Notice your pelvis connecting Draw the waist up and now reach arms up away off the mat and look towards the ground. So don't look forward. Keeping a neutral neck, extend the hands, the arms, and lift those legs up and breathe and scan the body. So drawing the awareness to the body and to the breath. Noticing the back of the body and then beginning maybe to notice more the front of the body as well. And bringing hands in and taking your right cheek to the mat and relaxing. Beginning to sense the breath. So noticing how maybe the breath sped up and your heart is a little bit going faster. So allowing the breath to slow down. And sensing how the body feels as it relaxes. Let's bring the chin to the mat again. Bring the feet together and we'll try it one more time. So extend the arms forward and lift legs off the mat, arms off the mat, and keep your gaze towards the ground so you're not looking forward. Stretch and bring the chest off as much as you can and sense. Keep breathing through your nose. See if you could relax the face as you're holding this tension throughout the body. The face is not holding tension. And we come back and bring the left cheek on the mat and relax again. Let's bring the chin to the mat and bring your hands right by your side. Your feet together, your knees together. Walk your knees towards your chest a little bit so that your butt goes up and hug the elbows in. Chin is on the mat. Hands are on the mat. Knees are on the mat. Toes are on the mat. So you're tucked in and you're arching the back. And you're inhaling and exhaling. And on your next exhale, push off away from the floor, coming on hands and knees. And we're going to go ahead and take a seat, extending the legs forward. And now sensing the release of pressure from the front of the body, right? So we were on our bellies, and so we could feel the chest unwind a bit. So take your hands back a bit, and the fingers could point to the side or forward, or whichever way the fingers feel good for you in terms of your shoulder rotation. Take the shoulders back, take your chest forward, and just take your head back. Take a moment to sigh again, opening up the chest. And releasing, and let's go ahead and lie back. So making sure you have space behind you. Let's take a moment and hug knees to the chest. Hugging knees to the chest, sensing those hips. And adding a little bit of movement left and right. So we're now massaging the back. See if you could become aware of the sensations that you have in the body. So drawing the awareness to even the most subtle sensations, just exploring them, inquiring, where are they coming from? Holding knees just like they are. Let's go ahead and now bring hands to the back of your legs and stretch out the legs. And see if you could flex your feet. So that means drawing your toes toward you. Instead of pointing the toes, draw the toes in as if your feet are holding up the sky or the ceiling. In my case, the moon. Spread your toes apart. Now, bend those knees. Take the right knee in and extend that left leg and keep flexing that foot, but don't draw the heel all the way down. If possible, hover the heel over the mat and keep hugging that right knee in. Now, feet are flexed. Now point your toes. My ankle just cracked. So just point the toes and keep hovering that leg if that feels all right for you. Flex the foot. Allow that heel to come down and take that right knee to the right side, opening up the hip, and extend your left arm out. And go ahead and look to the left hand. Find a comfortable spot for that hip opening, so go to that spot where it feels just good for you. And then come back in. Let's take the left hand to that right knee, take the right arm out, and then twist, bringing that right knee to the left side, and now looking to the right hand, keeping that right shoulder down. Drawing the awareness to sensation. Coming home to the body. And allowing yourself to come back. Hug that knee in. And now bring that left foot, left knee in and extend that right leg. Flex the feet and allow the heel to hover as you hug that left knee in. So not letting the heel go down if possible. Point your toes, stretching out those ankles. Flex the foot, draw it in. And now placing the heel all the way down, extending that right arm out and taking that left knee to the left side, looking to your right hand, and just taking that hip out, noticing maybe how there's a difference between one side and the other in terms of how you are able to open the hips, right? And so the body is not completely symmetrical. Our dominant side is usually going to be tighter than our non-dominant side, but that all depends on a whole lot of factors. Keep lengthening that leg so you're stretching it out and you're drawing that knee towards the left, opening up the body, opening up the entire front of the body, the pelvic region. So completely vulnerable position, right? This is an opening of the body. Relaxing into that vulnerability, realizing that we are able to be vulnerable when we're safe. We cannot be vulnerable when we feel unsafe. And vulnerability and intimacy are all part of like oneness. No intimacy without vulnerability. No vulnerability without safety. And we're in a safe place right now. Bringing that knee to center. We take the right hand, place it on that left knee, extend the left arm out, and now bring that left knee and twist as we look towards our left hand, feeling that twist in the back. Finding deliciousness in the sensations, hopefully. No pain. Come back. And now this time bring both knees in. And let's take feet back up again. Take a moment to move your ankles and wiggle your toes. Take a moment to take your hands and just move them from on the back of your legs, especially the back of your knees. So massage that area behind your knees. Using your fingertips. And you could draw your hands down towards your hamstrings. Tracing the back of the legs, feeling the back of the knees, as we move possibly lymphatic fluid, especially around the back of the knee down. Good. All right, so we're holding those legs up. And see if you could release the hands and just reach towards the feet. And we're just staying there for a moment. And then can you take your chest up? So keep your head looking forward and just take your chest up. So rounding the back and lifting up. You don't have to touch your toes. So just contract the front of the body. But don't round your head so much. Just keep looking up. And just hold for a moment. And bring your feet down and release. So take your arms back a little bit. And right now I'm arching my back, so there's a space under me. You probably can't see that. And now I'm going to place my lower back down. So I'm going to press the back down. And let's lift the feet off the ground. And my arms are back. And I'm just going to look towards my knees. Right? I'm not crunching all the way. My feet are off. They're kind of like my knees are bent. And I'm just going to crunch a little bit and come back. All right. Take a break, take a rest. Let's go ahead and extend the legs out. Point the toes, reach back, stretch out the body all the way from toes to fingers. Bring hands right by your side and lift feet off the mat. Keep your head back and press the lower back down. So you're going to press the lower back down and lift. Let's go ahead and lift one leg first and keep pressing. So the belly is in and press the back down. Inhale and exhale as you point the toes. And as you sense the body. So sense what's being engaged right now as you're lifting the leg up, not too high up. And then draw it down. As you relax, notice what just relaxed. Let your feet drape to the side. Find your breath. Bring your feet, your toes pointing up again. So toes pointing towards the ceiling or the sky. Lift that left leg up, point the toes, and draw the belly in as you press the lower back down. So press, you're hollowing out the belly. You're pressing the lower back onto the mat. And you're just holding, pointing the toes, and sensing what's being engaged right now. And release. And relax. Let your feet drape. Coming back, point toes, press. So notice my back is really arched, right? So right now my back is arched. I'm going to press the belly down. I'm going to keep my head from lifting, and I'm going to lift my feet off the mat just a little bit. Point the toes and sense what's being engaged. So noticing now the front of the body. And then noticing how you keep pressing the back of the body. Notice what gets engaged as you keep holding. Hold as you feel comfortable. Don't arch your back. Keep pressing down. And then release and allow the feet to just drape to the side. Let's bring the feet on the mat and turn to your side. Gently come up into a seated position. Allow the sort of blood flow to shift. And let's go ahead and come all the way up. So we stand for a little bit. So this has been mostly a lying back class, lying on the mat class. Take a moment to move and to kind of like sense the entire body now that we're standing, right? What's shifting in your sensation? So you want to have this inquiry as we move. What's happening? Not so much to like take it apart, but just to sense it. Like, can I befriend that sensation that I'm experiencing? If it's a painful sensation, can I pay attention to it so that I can draw away from the pain rather than to make the pain more intense? So we want to allow the pain all sensation, including pain, to communicate with us so that we could allow the body to be at ease. Let's go ahead and come to the front of the mat, and place your feet under your hips or a little bit closer. And we're going to do a sun salutation A, just to salute the sun, which is still there even though it's nighttime. But in California, you can still see the sun, right? So it's pretty cool. Take shoulder blades back. So notice back, shoulders back, hands down. So I'm stretching out the shoulders. I'm bringing the belly in. So we're engaging the front and the back of the body. And we're reaching arms up, 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 up. Stretch it out. Exhale, open arms wide and fold forward. Find your forward fold that feels good for you. So you may not fold all the way down. That's fine. You could bend your knees if you feel that your back needs that little bit of support. And round your back. So we want to feel that rounding of the back, bringing the chin to the chest so that we feel a complete roundness here. We're coming back to water, right? To that water flow. We're looking behind. We become like a teardrop as we look toward our belly and find the breath. Sense the soles of your feet making contact with the mat. Notice the blood rushing to your head. And then slowly come up, hands tracing your legs. Come to that spot where you could flatten out your back. So notice that my back now, I'm in an L shape, kind of like the same way that we were with our feet up in the air when we were on our back. Find that same pose, now standing. Now, hands on the up. Right now my hands are right above the knees, and then I'm going to take my hands and place them right under my shoulders, right? About shoulder distance apart. So then draw the awareness to the sensations that you're experiencing in the body, which most likely are going to come from the back of your legs. If your legs are straightened out, you might arch the back a little bit, take the shoulders away from the ears a little bit, and see if you could draw awareness to the back itself. Find the breath. And now take right arm forward. Left arm forward. Hips are back, so you're not rounding here. You're reaching back. You're taking your butt back. You're holding, as if you're holding a block. And you're noticing sensations again, all the time. Allow the hands to come down towards the mat. And bring your hands all the way down. Bend your knees a little bit. Take your feet back into plank. We could go into plank two ways. Either a full plank, or you could take your knees into plank. If you go knees into plank, keep your back long. Keep your shoulders away from the ears. Make the arms strong. If you're on a full plank, shoulders over the heels of the palms, right? The heels of the palms. Your elbows point back. And you're straight back, right? Straight back, drawing the belly in. And then now noticing what's being engaged as we hold this plank. Let's go ahead and draw that right knee in and back. Let's do it one more time. In and back. One more. In and back. In and back. Left one. In and back. In and back. In and back. In and back. On your next exhale, draw down. Point toes, hug elbows in. Press your pelvis down. So pressing pelvis, pointing toes, hugging those elbows really tight. Lifting chest, taking shoulders away from the ears, looking down towards the ground. And now drawing the awareness to the sensations in the body. Can you draw your pelvic floor up? Drop down on the exhale, tuck toes, and you could push up to your knees or push up all the way into a down dog. Coming into that down dog, take your feet to the edges of the mat. Well, not fully to the edges, to the right by your sort of hip distance apart. Your heels to the edges of the mat. Bend those knees. Push back and stretch out the body. Bring the chin to the chest. Now lengthen and stretch out your legs and bring your heels slightly out and press the heels down as much as you can as you keep pushing back away from the hands. Look toward your belly. Drop to your knees. Drop to your heels. Take a moment to sense the body. Scan the body, befriend the body. Come home. Let's go ahead and turn on our side, and we're going to go on our backs again. Stretch out the legs. Let's go ahead and stretch back. And let's bring the feet on the mat. Let's take our right foot to the left knee and take our hands and weave our hands in that space in between. Grab hold of the back of your left leg or the left knee. Interlock your fingers. Keep the lower back down and pull in. Flex your feet and sense what's happening with your hips. On each exhale, allow the drawing in a little bit closer if possible. Hold. And release. Let's go ahead and place your soles of your feet together and allow the knees to drape to the side. Notice sensation again. Notice the weight of the body on the mat, and the mat holding you, the ground under you holding you. Go ahead and bring your knees back together, and now take your left foot to that right knee, allowing that knee to kind of open up, the hip to open up. Take your hands and weave them through, hold the back of the leg or the knee, and flex the feet. As you flex your feet, just draw in and notice, explore the sensations now on the other side of the body. Don't round your back, so keep your back flat on the mat. Sometimes if this is not accessible, you could get a towel, you could get a belt and hold the knee if you can't draw it in, so that you could have that experience of sort of working on the hips this way. Bring those feet back to the mat. Take your feet to the edges of the mat, put them at an angle, and draw your heels in as close to your butt as possible. Lift up your pelvis and walk your shoulders towards the heels so that you could touch the hands to the heels, and lift up so that you could feel the hip flexors engage and your glutes engage. As you lift, press on the heels of your feet, and we could stretch back. Stretch back, and now bring hands under you. Interlock your fingers, make the arms really strong, and keep pressing on the heels. Lift your toes up. Sensing the body, what's going on. Drawing the awareness to the sensation, and then just letting it go and coming back into releasing the tension. Let's go ahead and keeping your feet right where they are, just take your knees to the right and look to the left. Come back to center, look to the right, knees to the left. Keep going at your own pace, twisting, sensing maybe your quads engaging, and the twist in the back. Coming back to center, let's hug ourselves in nice and tight. Take our feet up into the air. Take your two-piece fingers, grab the fat toes, and take your feet apart, as wide apart as you can, drawing the knees toward you and just rocking your baby. So, happy baby pose. Allowing yourself to keep opening as much as you can, keeping the back on the mat, so lowering down, so not rounding the back here. Holding and then releasing, extending the legs now, sensing the body, allowing the feet to drape to the side, bringing your hands to your side, palms face up if that feels comfortable for you. Closing your eyes and taking a moment to just breathe naturally and sense the body. So let the sensations in the body draw your awareness there without judgment, just noticing. Begin to deepen your breath. And as you deepen your breath, wiggle your toes. And touch your fingertips. And go ahead and reach back with your arms. Bring your feet together, point your toes and stretch back. Coming back, placing your feet on the mat. Allow yourself to go on the right side or the left, taking your fetal position first. Opening up your eyes and orienting yourself. Taking your free hand and pushing up, coming up from the ground. We place our hands on our knees and we bring again the awareness to the sensations in the body. We take a moment to look back, to reflect back on this experience of tonight, realizing that we have given ourselves the gift of 1 hour and a little bit to just sense the body, become aware, move, stretch, and be. Out of 24 hours in a day, we've taken 1 hour. And that's a beautiful gift that we give ourselves and that we give each other in this little community. Sometimes it's really difficult to give ourselves those gifts of being when we do it on our own. And so that's one of the benefits of coming together and knowing that this is something that it's a routine and that we make a commitment to ourselves and to each other to encourage one another, to be kind to ourselves, to be gracious to ourselves. And in doing so, extend it to other people. Let's take an inhale, and on the exhale we could do a bit of a sigh. So inhaling. Two more times. Inhaling. Inhaling. Taking hands to heart center. We wish each other well. Thank you for coming, for showing up, for practicing. Have a beautiful night and a great weekend. Namaste, everybody.